Hello, it's Mike from HyperRacing, here to talk to you a couple minutes about our left front caliper. This left front caliper was developed about 10 years ago. I developed it out of need because I got really tired of the go-kart master cylinders constantly failing me, constantly needing attention, maintenance, in order for me to finish my races and do well. So, big problem, those of you who ran this or still run this caliper know the issues with it. There's only a piston on one side, it's spring return, and as your pads wear, you have to take these shims in and out in order to compensate for the width of, or the amount of pads that are left on your caliper. So, like every 2 or 3 races, you have to take a shim out. Take a shim out, take a shim out. You put new pads in, you got to put all your shims back in again. If something doesn't align quite right, you got to put your shims in and out. A lot of work, a lot of maintenance. And the screws, so this was always held on with a bracket that bolted onto the spindle. The screws went into here. There's only 3 threads holding the screw into the pad, and so those were constantly coming loose and coming out. The whole thing would fall apart. I'd drop out of a race. So out of necessity, I designed this. It is a 2-piston caliper, so it has a piston on the back side and the front side. A real nice stainless steel piston. So now the pistons move in and out together. So as the pads wear, the pistons compensate for it and just move in further and further. So you get full use of the pad as the pistons travel. No maintenance at all required. Real simple to bleed with a bleed screw up top. If you want to change the pistons out inside, you just take these 2 screws out, replace the pistons in each side. Real simple to rebuild. You got a square O-ring on each side. You just pick that out with a little screwdriver. Change the square O-rings. I recommend the O-rings and the pistons be changed over the winter. So like every 30, 40 races, you want to go ahead and replace those. Otherwise you may have leakage. Also, when you change those, you take the caliper apart, there's a little O-ring. It's actually on the other half of this, but the O-ring goes in the half before it gets pressed together. So there's a porthole for the fluid to get over to the piston on the other side. This O-ring seals that porthole off. The piston, or the caliper, was designed to very nicely mount onto your spindle. So it mounts right on the front of the spindle. Steering arms go on the back side just like normal. We just came out with real nice titanium bolts. So that just bolts right on, screws into your steering arm, lines up perfect with our HBS hubs and the brake rotor on the back. Everything lines up perfect. Really easy to set up, really easy to go with. And yes, we do still have steel screws available as well. These are the brake pads. They're genuine Wilwood brake pads, very high quality. That's all I have for the left front brake caliper. Thank you for joining me.